Hello and welcome to the next level. We are here in quarantine still, and hopefully we'll put on a nice show for you this evening. A couple things before we start. First off, are there any announcements? Didn't think so. Okay. Second, our call out for tonight, our offer is the heroes are potentially going to be all over the city. So who is somebody they might meet, somebody interesting that they might run into this evening? You can keep in mind that it is the middle of the night right now, or not middle of the night, but sort of the start of the night. I don't know if that will play into it or not. And we'll see if they can come into the game at all. And a bit of sort of intercession stuff that's happened. So our characters are on their way to the Minstrel's Muse from the was burning, no longer burning boarding house that they'd visited last week. But Jacob, now feeling a little exposed, wanted to go take care of some things. So he's gone run off to do his own thing for a moment. He was going to bribe some of the people who were taking care of his cart to forget about him and otherwise sort of get a few things off his cart, but leave it with them as well. So he won't be there when our sort of characters initially start. He'll be joining in a moment or two.
Oh, I'd hit in the wrong spot.
Well, you can still be there. And our start of session roll for Jacob. We'll need that. I will make note of it. Oh, I gotta stop being in the sunlight. There we go.
19.
Nice.
Let me fix
All
that.
right. And as a quick recap from last week, our heroes are in Silver Lake. They were looking for Morgan, which is Gildy's child and a friend of Talon. It's pretty much been confirmed that Morgan did steal a rather priceless statue from a Dragonborn inside the Syndicate. This was generally considered to be a bad move, and now Morgan needs to get out of the city. We've had people all over the city looking for Morgan. We've had some people finding Morgan. I believe Leon is still waiting to get some money back from them as well. And also lots of people looking for Morgan. Last week was a bit of a sidetrack, though, as Jacob had been kidnapped by some Mornish soldiers who were tracking down some artificers, had hoped to take Jacob back to the Empire, but that did not work out too well for them. Nothing really worked out well for anybody last week, but the heroes did manage to come away from that with Jacob and are now on their way back to the Minstrel's Muse. Before we start with them, however, Gildy had run off and just left the rest of the group to free Jacob. So we'll do a bit of a sort of a quick recap with Gildy. So Gildy, you ran through the city back to the Muse. You got there just about in time to see a small shape climbing out one of the windows and dropping to the ground. And upon closer inspection, you were able to confirm that this was Morgan. They seem to be otherwise trying to get away from the Muse for some reason. And assuming you make yourself known to them, would probably like some assistance. Yes, so what would you do?
Yes, I would like to make myself known to them. How far, are they within shouting distance?
Yeah, so you were probably getting to about 40, 50 feet away from the Muse, sort of running there, and you sort of saw the shape start to move, and by the time they're on the ground, you're probably about 20 feet away, so you're right there.
Okay. So I'm going, upon seeing Morgan and recognizing them, I'm going to so Gildy does not want to shout Morgan's name because she knows that there are people looking for them.
So So yeah.
I'm just trying to decide if she wants to shout anything and get their attention or draw attention to them.
What was Morgan's nickname growing up? What did Morgan often get called, either by siblings or you or their father?
Oh, that's a good idea. So I think that when Morgan was a small child, we called them Momo.
Hello.
So that is what Gildy is going to shout. Not like super loud, like kind of like she's calling out to a friend, but not like trying to draw other people's attention.
Yep. And yeah, Morgan definitely notices and turns and is like, Mom! And has this strange expression of both, I am so glad to see you, and oh my God, do I really not want to see you right now? And yeah, sort of comes running over to you and gives you a bit of a hug. You can tell that they've got sort of a pack on them. They've got sort of a couple different, weird like shoulder, satchels and that sort of thing. They seem to be ready to just go. And yeah, they're like, don't have time to explain. I really need to go. People are looking for me. A lot of people are looking for me. It's really bad. So I was waiting for this wizard to come back and hopefully get me out of the city. But so things have sort of advanced since then, and I just needed to get out of there. And we should probably go somewhere else really quickly now.
Okay, so I put my hand on their arm and say, I know. I'm trying to remember how much detail. I don't know. I know from Morgan's roommate.
Yeah,
buddy.
Yep.
A lot of yes, all of the details. So I say, Brado told me, let's go find somewhere a little more secluded, and we can talk.
All right. Where are you thinking? Morgan pretty much just wants to get away from the muse. Does not seem to be in a highly thinking mode at the moment. Just sort of reacting.
Okay.
But definitely, like, if you don't make a decision within like the next 3 seconds, they just grab your arm and start pulling you in one direction.
Okay. I'm probably gonna aim for like a shadowy like alleyway or somewhere. It's like it's kind of late at night or like.
Yeah, it's about 8-ish at night at the moment.
Okay.
And it's I know what time it is. It is mid-autumn, so yeah, it's probably dark by 8.
Okay. Are there any like I'm thinking like what I'm thinking is like places of worship. Are there any of those nearby? Okay.
On your way here, you passed the temple district, so there's a fair amount of places of worship around. Yep.
Okay. Gildy's gonna aim for an empty temple.
There are some of those. Since gods can sort of come and go, there are a few older empty temples around. So yeah, you start running back south, get to sort of the main intersection in town, and head into the temple district. Yeah, we'll say that one's sort of abandoned for the moment. So yeah, you find one it's like really old style. It's almost seems like it's really basic, really. There's not much sort of design to it. It's sort of very sort of blocky temple. Looks quite old, but yeah, you sort of are able to hide on that on the grounds around it, and there's sort of like some decently high walls, and yeah, are able to just sort of hunker down for a moment.
Okay. So then I say, once we're kind of like hiding, I say, well, I know what Brado told me, but I would like to hear the story from you, Morgan.
And I would love to tell you, but there's a lot of people looking for me right now, and
Morgan, I will help you get out of the city. I met a bunch of really capable people, and I think that you have met some of the same people, and we're all gonna work and help you get out of the city. We uh right now, I just want you to calm down a little bit. We'll go as really soon. Don't worry, and just tell me what happened.
okay. So I came into possession of this really neat thing, and I mean, so I didn't know it was stolen when I got it,
Mhm.
but apparently it was stolen from this really important person, and they're looking for it, and I think they think I stole it. So they probably just probably would you know otherwise kill me if they found me with it. But I'm just thinking, it's a I could return it, but if I return it, you see, then they might think I stole it and they kill me. So I figure it's just safer to just keep it, and I'll sell it somewhere else, and maybe someone else will return it to the rightful owners later on, and then everything will be good. Yeah.
Okay, dear. Now, why don't you stay here? I'm gonna go find the others. They think that we're meeting at Minstrel's Muse, and obviously we're not there. So you stay here, and if I'm not back in like what's is 30 minutes a reasonable amount of time
Yeah.
for what I would expect to go? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You stay here for 30 minutes. Don't move for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If I'm not back in 30 minutes, then you can run and you can do whatever. But you stay here as long as you can, all right?
Yeah. And just as you go, sort of, grabs, your sleeve and like, uh, hey, it is good to see you. Sorry, it wasn't under better circumstances. I know I can be a bit of a pain sometimes, but thanks for finding me.
Well, I'm your mom. That's what I do.
Okay. All right. Yes, I'll stay here 30 minutes,
Hmm.
and you'll come back with some friends.
Yep.
That's good. All right.
And we'll get out and you'll be okay.
All right.
All right. Love you, Bomo.
Love you too, Mom.
Hmm. Okay, so now I'm gonna head back in the direction of the guard where we were before.
All right. So, yeah, you sort of retrace your step, or retrace your steps, more than one. And yeah, between sort of going there and sort of having the bit of a chat with Morgan and then sort of coming back, you're probably meeting the others just as they're sort of, we'll say, kind of sort of crossing the bridge in Woodside Alley, heading towards the main road. So at this point, Jacob probably wouldn't even have broken off yet. You haven't even gotten back into sort of the main city.
Does she
Yeah,
notice a smoke plume?
yeah. So you notice in the night, actually it's dark, so it'd be hard to notice. There's a bit of spots where like the stars are sort of, blanked out above you. There's it looks like the end of a fire, um, going across the river, sort of to your left and over a little bit. Definitely some commotion over there. Some people. There's sort of a fire brigade going and sort of working through stuff. Yeah, but yeah, definitely there's some smoke around the area where you left the the others. Yeah, and you meet them again, roughly where um, Tor and Mint met you and Talon earlier tonight to go find Jacob. So roughly about that same intersection or so.
Okay. Sorry, I was typing up some notes. I missed that last bit. I see them, or I've
Yeah. You catch up with
Okay.
them at that intersection. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Do I notice that they're a little worse for wear?
Yes, that is relatively obvious.
Okay.
How long has it been? How long have we been walking?
You have just left.
Okay.
So
Then
Zard
I'm
and
definitely in
Talon.
the middle.
Sorry.
I'm definitely in the middle of casting to fix my clothing and my face and my hair and make myself look nice again because I was right in fire.
Yep. There's
But
definitely
making it look like I wasn't.
some singes
Okay.
and some
and
damage.
Jacob's not with them, right? Because he left to go
Jacob
do
is
another
with
thing.
them.
Oh, he is with them right now. Okay.
Yeah, he will be running off shortly to go do another thing and then rejoin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see them all, and I say, especially Jacob, I'm like, "Oh, good, you found Jacob. You're all safe." Wait, what happened to all of you?
Someone decided to start a fire. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Oh.
It was an accident.
It was deliberate.
I look at Jacob very incredulously and say, "Okay."
Well, if someone didn't try to pull me down after I was trying to fly away, maybe I wouldn't have accidentally hit that open flame that I was looking directly at onto that very flammable bed. It's totally not my fault.
Okay. Anyways, you all seem pretty okay now. I found Morgan. They were near the Minstrel's Muse, but we had to get away from there. They did not seem to want to be there at all, despite having arrangements to meet you, Leon. So we were just kind of taking shelter in an abandoned temple. So if you all just want to come with me over there, we can fetch Morgan and come up with a plan for getting them out of this city. I think they're really in trouble.
Someone.
Oh yeah, we lost Jonathan.
We lost Jonathan.
Oh no.
Well, the cat just left the vicinity of the basement. It is possible she ran upstairs and pawed at Jonathan's setup. So that is most likely what has become of his monitor. So, yeah.
We'll give that a moment.
She was just down here and then disappeared. She usually goes straight to him, so.
So we'll do a bit of just recap story while we're waiting for Jonathan to come back, and you can listen to the soothing tones of our voice, even though you can't quite see most of us. So you are able to get into the city proper, pass through the city gates into the inner city, and Jacob would probably sort of run off at that point, saying, I'll catch up with you shortly. Do you have set a rough meeting point? Are you going to meet at that temple? Do you want to sort of meet somewhere else?
I'm okay meeting at the temple.
All right. So yeah, you point out a temple. It's relatively easy to see from just inside the gates. Yeah, Jacob runs off to go do their thing.
Before I do,
Yep.
I'm going to look guilty. I'm like, okay, so don't panic and keep looking directly at me. But I want you to look over my shoulder and let me know if we're being followed.
Okay.
Just
I look over his shoulder as discreetly as possible.
Yep.
Are they being followed?
Uh-oh.
I'll fix it.
Sorry about that.
We need to rearrange some things. Give me a perception check.
All right.
There we go.
That is a 25.
Oh yeah, you have a clear view. I mean, you're looking through the city gates, and so it's a bit narrow, but you sort of look behind. There's not a whole lot of other people sort of coming and going into the city at this time of night. And yeah, sort of the street that you're looking down, you don't see anybody down there at all. If they are following, they are either out of view or hiding exceptionally well, sort of around something, but no, you don't see anything.
Okay. I tell Jacob this. No, doesn't seem like there's anybody.
Excellent. Well, then I will be right back. I have some business to attend to, totally unrelated to what just happened, and I will meet you at the temple.
All right.
Okay.
So yes, Jacob runs off.
And Turok's like,
yeah.
is that a good idea? Oh, never mind.
You're welcome.
Has Morgan dropped off my coin at my room, or does Morgan have my coin with him?
You don't know.
I'm
asking Gildy.
Oh.
Sorry, Leon, I didn't think to ask. But we will ask them that as soon as we get back to the temple.
All right. Well, how did you meet them? Were they coming out of the Minstrel's Muse, or were they arriving at the Minstrel's Muse?
They were coming out. They were coming out of a window, right?
Yep.
They seemed to be coming out of a window. I don't know if it was maybe yours or not. You could always head there and check your room first before meeting us at the temple.
And then I will come and join you at the temple.
Okay.
All right. That will actually work very well for what I was going to say. Yeah, Gildy leads a bunch of you toward the temple. Leon, you start heading up towards the Minstrel's Muse. And what you see, sure, there, is approaching you down the street, pretty much from the Muse. You saw them there earlier, is a group of about 9 people, led by that arrogant-looking elf and that half-dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And you figure you'll get to them about the same time that they're getting to the sort of that main intersection in town, which will put them not that far behind the rest of the group, assuming that's where they're going. And if they've seen anything, you're not quite sure about that.
Okay. Can I make an insight check to get a sense of whether they have anything?
Yeah, so you get sort of decently close, probably within 20-30 feet, just to sort of get a good beat on the group. Actually, probably you've got decent night vision, so you can be a little further away.
It was going to be so good, and then it wasn't.
Yeah. So you take a look at the group. You're a little worried that they're moving purposefully, and you think they know where the others are. They have to know.
Okay.
And what do you do?
And there's 9 of them, you say?
Yeah, so just to sort of go over it again, there's the elf, there's the half-dragon, 4 sort of big bruiser-like characters, 2, and then, 3 smaller, sort of average size, but sort of more stealthy-looking individuals.
Right. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay. Then I will just approach them and be like, "Oh, excellent, fantastic to run into some useful-looking individuals such as yourselves. Have you perhaps seen? I don't remember his. I do not remember his name, but I'm sure that I know the half elf's name. So the 2 people who were suspected of possibly having stolen my stuff. Morgan, the other one was a half elf.
Yep. I believe the name was
Sonora.
Sonora, yeah.
So then I will say, I'm looking for a half elf named Sonora. Some of my items were stolen, and I've been told that the best way to find items is to connect with people who could do such a thing. And I'm curious about you being such a useful-looking group, and perhaps you could assist me in my looking.
So the first one you meet is sort of not the elf. There's sort of one of the other ones who seems to be sort of scouting ahead a little bit. But yeah, you think most of the group can hear you, and the elf sort of comes up behind the scout a little bit and it's like, "Sorry, you want to hire us to do what?"
Recovering my items stolen.
Uh-huh. Well, we are looking for a stolen item. It's a little bit more important than yours. But you know what? Maybe if we find what we're looking for tonight, we can come and look for you, and then maybe we can find your item too. I don't know.
Excellent. Well, perhaps I could come and assist you in what you're looking for.
Sure. You got some useful skills on you?
Yeah. In addition to a towering intellect, I am also a spellcaster.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we could use a spellcaster. Sure. You haven't seen one, maybe two halflings come this way, have you?
Not at all. I take it that's a deception.
That would be a deception check, yes.
Okay. Hopefully I roll better than last time.
Oh, it's better.
You did say
It's all
better.
you asked for.
Halflings, you say? Halflings. Tell me more about these beings of which you speak.
And yeah, the elf just sort of comes up, like, pushes the one between you out of the way. It's like, you know them, don't you?
No.
You're hiding them. Yes, you're definitely going to be coming with us. And sort of looks over at the half dragon, who just sort of comes and is trying to grab you.
Now I'm starting to wish that I hadn't put out that fire. Because I used all of my second level spells. So I
Yeah.
can't Misty escape.
Yeah. Grapple check, please. Or I guess, yeah, it would be athletics or acrobatics.
I mean, like, there's 9 of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm right here. I'm just basically like, oh.
Okay.
And they grab me.
Yeah. Just grabs you and sort of growls in your face a little bit, a bit of an intimidation check, which is, I mean, he's big and scary, but it doesn't necessarily, the check, the intimidation itself doesn't seem to do much to you.
I just faced down a huge inferno.
Yeah.
So I think he's not that scary right now. Oh, and there was also that skeleton was teleporting after me, trying to kill me. So compared to them, eh.
Yeah. The elf, now that you've been held by the half dragon, is like, so where are they, please? This will go a lot easier and less painful for you if you'll just let us know, maybe even direct us there, and then we can all be on our merry way and we'll let you go.
That sounds fantastic. If I knew where they were, I would certainly tell you. Can I make a new deception check?
Yes, you may.
Please roll better. Please roll better. No! Come on. I have no idea where they are.
And you actually had a chance that time because he didn't roll particularly high. But better than that, I was like, I think you do know where they are. You almost had me there, but no, yeah. And what's your AC?
Oh.
Love to sigh.
It's 13.
Yep. So no weapons, but just sort of gives you a bit of a punch to the side of the face for single damage. And it's like, please don't be trying to fool us again. Just tell us where they are.
Could you explain to me why it is that you need to know and what you plan to do with them? And then I can decide for myself, based on my own morals and judgments, whether I can explain to you where they are.
And that's when he sort of just gets real sort of mean and ugly and up in your face, like, you're going to tell me it doesn't matter what my reasons are, because if you don't, I will have my nice half-dragon friend here rip you apart. How does that sit with your morals?
Not particularly well. Are there any people around?
That is an excellent question. Yeah, there's a couple people around. You're definitely sort of in the middle of a main intersection, so there's some people that are sort of making a wide berth around you, seeing that this is going on. Some of them seem to be sort of either well-dressed sort of merchants or nobles that potentially are on their way to or from an event of some sort. Again, quite dressed up. Definitely some city watchmen that happen to be sort of wandering by. Yeah, I'll say there's a patrol of 2 city watchmen that sort of aren't too far away. That said, they don't seem to be like they notice you in this big group and seem to be otherwise not too interested in trying to break this up. And who else might be around? Have we had any suggestions from the chat yet?
Then I'm going to scream out for assistance and cast Earth Tremor.
Ooh. Yeah, you can cast while grappled.
Yep. Everyone within 10 feet of me has to make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or they fall prone.
Okay.
Hopefully not on top of you.
Yeah. All right. So give me a moment. So DC 15 dexterity saving throw. Okay. The leader falls down.
Yay.
The half dragon holding you falls down. And we'll get to the results of that in a sec. That person is probably going to fall down.
I always worry when large creatures fall down.
Yeah. Those 2 both fall down. Those 4.
This worked out surprisingly well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 2 of the sort of bruiser types in the back still seem to be standing. The 2 city watchmen both fall down.
They're within 10 feet of me?
Oh, no. Sorry. So if it's just within 10 feet.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. Who would have been within 10 feet? I'll just kind of rearrange them here a little bit.
Yeah, I figured none of the civilians or people who might hit
No.
this were that close.
Yeah, so in that case, yeah. So the group would have been sort of fairly close around you. So there are 3 people standing essentially at the moment.
Okay.
When the half dragon falls, I'm going to give him a grapple check with disadvantage to keep a hold of you if you would like to potentially try and escape.
Oh, goodness me, yes. They all take 3 bludgeoning damage as well.
All right.
Then that's an acrobatics check on my part.
And he didn't roll particularly well. Yes, acrobatics.
Or athletics.
Yes.
Yeah. Acrobatics it is. Please roll higher than a 5 this time. Oh, come on.
You make it. You rolled an 8 and a 1 and had disadvantage, so yeah, you managed to wriggle out of his grasp, strong as it is otherwise. And you are prone. You did sort of fall down with him.
Oh, I do? Oh, I guess I rolled terrible.
But yeah, you can get up and try and move if you like.
Goodness me, yes. I'm going to get up, try and run, screaming at the top of my lungs.
Which way are you running?
Shouting, just something to the effect of like, help me, these people are accosting me. I am a noble. They're trying to rob me. Assistance, assistance.
Yeah, so you can run south, which would be back towards where the others are. You could run north, which would be towards the Muse. You could run west, which would be in no particular useful direction. East would potentially be where Jacob went and where the napping gnome is. Yeah.
Okay.
You could run in a non-cardinal direction as well, but there's walls and not too much else around.
That would end poorly. Well, although you can run up walls where we can.
That's true.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. I'd forgotten all about that. I'm like, how will I escape? Okay, I run up the nearest wall.
Yeah, there's a wall right there. You start running up it.
Yelling, help me. These people are robbing me as I'm running up the wall.
All right. I need to remember what that... Ooh, I think I know what that building is. One moment.
And I mean, I'm trying to make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So that the rest of the party will hear and be alerted to the fact that there's danger.
Why am I picturing the 60s Batman bit running up the side of the building, except this time with Leon and...
I guess rest of the group, if you want to give me, so this would be everybody except Jacob. If you want to give me a perception check. DC is relatively high because you're a fair bit away by this point.
Okay, cool. So I did let
18.
Get away.
Oh, 18's pretty good.
No.
He is very perceptive.
Yes. Talon, yeah.
That's me.
And a 20. All right, so Mint, you definitely hear specifically Leon yelling for help, being accosted. Gildy and Talon, you hear your choice of, you hear what you think is Leon's voice, but you can't make out the words, or you hear somebody yelling about being accosted, but you can't tell it's Leon. And Torok, you are pleasantly humming to yourself.
Okay.
Leon, you get to the top of the wall. This is about 20 feet would probably be high enough. So this is where the road is. There's a bit of a hill as well, and then this wall is about 20 feet up. You run up that, get to the top of it. It's not particularly wide, it's probably about maybe a foot wide. But you can sort of balance quite well with your boots sticking you there. You're looking right down into a whole bunch of like sequenced off outside baths.
Baths, you say?
Yes, with a whole bunch of undressed people trying to have peaceful baths outside in the evening. Yeah.
Okay.
And now that you realize where you are and sort of the orientation of things, this is the wall that sort of keeps the Golden Gardens and the Upper Merchants District separated from the rest of the city. And you are looking directly down at the peaceful palace.
Oh, that place.
Yeah.
All right.
which is sort of nestled up into this particular corner of the walls.
Okay, so okay, and what number is the Peaceful Palace? I'm just looking
10.
at the map. Number 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm actually not that far from the.
No. You are roughly 85 feet away from the House of Wands, and 100 feet away from the actual Minstrel's Muse, if you wanted to head in that direction. Yep.
And so I'm up on this. So I'm actually up on kind of the city wall as opposed to the.
This is the internal wall, so it's not one of the outer city walls.
Yeah, but it's. I'm not on a building. I'm on a city wall.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Then I'm just going to run up and basically over and down onto the other side of it, and then I think probably run west.
All right. Did you want to run a little bit along the top of the wall so that you're not coming down into a whole bunch of segmented bath areas?
How high is this wall?
20 feet.
Well, I could come down 5 or 10 feet and not.
That's true. And then
in the bath? Yeah.
I am going to.
But I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So that I'm running, down there, and I'm like, oh, don't mind me.
Yeah. There are going to be a couple of attacks on you as people slowly regain themselves and are otherwise trying to hit you with ranged weapons. I'm glad that was a disadvantage. Does a 13 hit you?
It does, so I use shield, so no, it doesn't.
Okay. And shield will stay up for the rest of these, which is great.
So that's why I have shield. So it's 18.
Yep. He's sure. Nope, that misses. Longbow. That will definitely be within range. That misses. I'll say give one of them a regular one and one a disadvantage. That misses. And one. That's another hit.
Oh.
And there was 2 natural 20s in there, but they both were on rolls with disadvantage. So,
You're good.
So, actually, no, sorry. You added shield, so that hit was not hit. It was a 17.
Sweet.
And shield adds +5, correct?
Yep.
Yep. So those go bouncing off your shield as you sort of run down the other side of the wall. And they are definitely shouting and seem to be heading towards one of the entrances to the Golden Gardens, but they're going to be probably a little time getting there. Oh.
Did Rob freeze?
I think we lost Rob.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, he's back.
Hi.
Oh, you're back. Yay.
Like, no, I didn't freeze. I can hear you just fine.
We couldn't hear you.
Apparently, my internet connection is unstable.
Yeah, we're getting that message too. Weird. Do I have any idea of which way they're coming?
The shortest route for them would be west and then in, as opposed to going north and then in, which would be slightly longer.
Oh, sorry. If that's the case, then I'm going to run north instead of west.
Okay. So you can even sort of look like you're running west and then go down and then circle around and go the other way. And
Yes, let's do that. I start to run west and then I'm like, wait, based on my mathematics, this is the bad way to go. And I turn and run the other direction.
All right. Are you heading for any place in particular?
Effectively just away from here. I want to lose them. I have 1 spell left other than cantrips. I have 11 hit points. I am not in good shape for this fight against 9 people.
Hey, you escaped. That's pretty impressive.
I am quite happy with myself that I was able to escape them. But yeah, it was luck. So I'm definitely not going to test it anymore, and I just try and get lost.
All right.
Within the city, since nobody's going to come to my aid. Yeah, I'm just going to get lost and then eventually make my way back. Once I'm certain that they're not following me, I'll make my way back to the Muse.
All right. So your eventual destination is the Muse.
Yeah. Did I get the sense? Can I at least make a check to see if any of them recognize me? Because I've seen them before, so they may have seen me before.
Yeah. Give me an inside roll.
Hopefully, I can start rolling better.
I mean, why start now? Really, it's okay.
True. It was an 18. It was an 18, and then it became a 4.
You have no clue whether they know who you are, recognize you at all. So, all right, but you're heading back there. So the rest of you heard screams and shouts. What are you going to do?
That was Leon, claiming that she's being robbed again.
Claiming?
Rob, what
Claiming?
what does Leon, does she even have anything left on her?
Yes.
Well, obviously, we need to help.
Well, no, wait, that's... Now, I rolled high on that. I got a total of 20, so did I see the people that were surrounding?
No, there's a lot of buildings between you and them.
Okay, so...
Plan may have backfired.
Yeah, I think the natural reaction would be for us to go to their aid and just save Leon.
All right.
Yeah.
Gildy, you are probably about, at this point, use a little measurement tool, like 40 feet from where Morgan is. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to go, I'm still going to go to Morgan because I'm worried that they're just going to run away again.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah. I'm trying to see, I'm just looking through like all of my equipment and stuff to see if I have useful that could be helpful. Okay, I don't really. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Morgan, and I'm going to say, one of our friends is in trouble.
I'm in trouble.
Well, yes, you are obviously in trouble. I know this. It's okay, dear. And so I'm going to try to help her. Okay, so I know Leon previously told me that Morgan was the one who she's waiting for the stuff from, right? And so I'm gonna say our friend that's in trouble is the one who is
who you owe money to.
yes, who you need to return certain items to at the Minstrel's Muse. And so I think it's also in your interest that we help her out.
The wizard?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Sure. Let's go. But what I'm trying to decide right now is whether Gildy would like to try to hide Morgan in some way, or if she would get Morgan to go with her and the group. It's like,
oh, if we have another person and we have a fairly good group here and we're all very, at least the rest of us, I don't know about Morgan, are very capable, then we might be able to protect them if anything were to happen. On the other hand, is it safer to try to hide them? But then if they get found, so I think Gildy is grappling with this question. She's just going to ask Morgan, and she's going to say, she's going to say, you know, I think it's really important that I go and help Leon. And you are welcome to come help. We have a good group. We have you know, we have Dragonborn. We have we have Talon with us. Yeah,
Talon's oh.
Yeah, we have a great group. So if you want to come help and if anything happens, I think we could probably protect you. And it would be great if, you know, Leon would probably be very happy if you were there helping. And then
okay, all right, I'll help. I'm coming.
Okay. I just wanted to say, if you still want to hide, we can try to find a way. But
all right, no, they're coming with you. As a reminder from last session, Talon, you only had a few hit points. Yes. Was anybody going to potentially heal Talon between then and now?
Oh, I can heal Talon.
Oh.
Okay. I notice.
Yeah.
You know, knowing that we're about to go into possibly, I'm going to say to the group, like, I know you all just kind of dealt with something that was crazy, something about fire. I don't know. Jacob may or may not have set a fire and burned you all. I don't know. But does anybody need any healing or anything before we go look for Leon?
Talon, yes, definitely looking quite bloody.
Okay.
Out of battle, kind of like somewhat sheepishly, as he doesn't like to ask for help, but kind of like takes a bit of a step forward and just sort of, you know, I could use a little help.
Okay. I'm going to use Cure Wounds on Talon.
All right.
And that heals you for a 1d8 plus 4. Oh, 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Mint, you had a healing potion as well, if you were.
The way we worked it out is I am carrying the healing rock, and
right.
Torok is carrying the health
Healing
potion.
So Torok, you've got a potential healing potion you could use as well.
Torok holds up the healing potion and the thing of mead. Which one would be better?
I'll take the mead. Oh wait, we might be fighting. I'll have to wait for celebration later.
Do you offer the potion?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So that would be 2d4 plus 2. Whoever wants to roll that for Talon.
Okay,
Thank you.
Talon, you want to roll it yourself, or do you want me to?
You go for it. Then I.
Someone to blame if he rolls poorly.
Right? This is why you rolled it.
Yeah. All right. So.
Thank you.
You run towards where you heard the screaming now. You have a couple choices here. You can try and run directly there, but you're running sort of between temple grounds. So it's going to be sort of a bit of a winding path, but that was be sort of the straightest route. Otherwise, you could go to your left and sort of up and around, or you could go to your right and sort of up and around. Which path would you like to take?
I think Talon would probably go the direction of the sound. Like, he heard the cry. He didn't know it was what Leon was saying, but I thought, I think I can hear a voice. So I think Talon was kind of go that direction, so kind of straight north, weaving as best as possible.
Anybody? Are people going to follow Talon?
Yeah. Just follow Talon.
All right. All right. So in that case, Talon, are you running full out, or are you running at a speed where other people can keep up to you?
If I would probably start going, and if I see people are following me, I will go at a pace that I feel everyone can keep up.
All right. Since you're in the lead, give me a perception check.
17.
All right, that's pretty good. You sort of, as you sort of weave between a couple buildings, you get a bit of a gap between two temples ahead of you, and you can see several figures running by that gap. None of them look to be Leon.
But they do look like they are running not because they're late for
Exactly.
Church, yes, they're not late for church.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I kind of slow down and kind of like put an arm out, just kind of signaling that they, there was like 4, 3, whatever how many people I saw, kind of going in a certain direction.
All right. Yeah, and then assuming people continue on. As you're running, we cut over to Jacob. Jacob is haggling about bribing people to take his card away and not remember him.
12 gold. Fine.
And cut back. All right.
Oh, sorry. I thought
that was so good.
All right, let's do rounds. Okay, so I need to move that group out of there. There. Oops. Oh, no, I've got too many people. Okay. You stay there, and you go there. There we go. All right. So you get out onto the main road, and the group that you saw running is now probably 20, 30 odd feet west of you on the main road. As you sort of just come out there, you can see that it's a group of about 9 odd people. And they are otherwise, booking it towards what looks to be sort of an entrance sort of into the walled area, which is off to their right.
Do I recognize any of the people?
You're not there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. This is back to the rest of the group.
Okay.
Do any of you recognize Talon? You definitely recognize Kavash. They are hard to miss. They are a large red half dragon, and they are also towards the rear of the group.
All right. I mean, Talon would kind of look, and does Talon see Leon anywhere?
No.
Yeah, like obviously he'd be looking west, like ahead of the group. So.
Well, and you're sort of oriented enough that the group went that way, and you're also relatively certain the voice you heard was sort of over there. So even looking in this direction, you don't see them over there anywhere.
Yeah. Obviously the voice weaving through buildings and such.
Yeah.
You kind of lose track of that a bit. All right. Talon is going to, I guess, follow them, but given that they haven't caught up to Leon, at least as far as he can tell, that they, she's not in front of them, but kind of following enough that if they do catch up to her, the Talon can kind of jump in.
All right.
That's his gut with what he thinks makes sense.
Are you telling anybody else anything you know?
Well, I think so. In previous conversation, I guess we wouldn't have mentioned that. Good point. Yes, Talon will turn and just kind of point at the people, assuming we all kind of gather. That's a half red dragon. That's Kvatch. That's their sort of enforcer.
Yeah, and instantly Morgan goes like rigid and like sinks into a shadow somewhere.
Yeah, it's like be very careful around them. And I'm not sure if I recognize the rest.
Most of them are sort of just sort of average thugs from the group. Give me a perception check. Oh yeah, so you can definitely recognize Dax as well in the group. So Dax Varian, yeah.
Okay, and I'll point out Dax, and Dax just being one of Kiencha's people.
Pretty much her. I know. So She's sort of above and adjacent to Dax's boss, and has sort of some sort of say over him, can command him occasionally if she wants, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just that I just don't know the rest, but obviously they're together.
All right.
Should we chase? And I'm assuming Leon is somewhere ahead of them.
And Morgan will be like, I'm pretty sure they're the ones looking for me, actually. I would prefer not to go after them.
Talon kind of looks at Morgan and is like, that's a good point. You should probably hide.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can see that they are aiming to. I'm just looking at the map right now. They're aiming to get into this next district area, right?
The inner city or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we and there are other ways into it.
Yep.
So Gildy's gonna say, well, I don't want to go straight after these people who are looking for Morgan when we have Morgan right here. They seem to be, and they're going into the Upper Merchants District.
Yeah, the Golden Gardens, Upper
Golden
Merchants
Gardens
District area. Yep.
Okay, so are we able to get into the Golden Gardens?
Yeah, it's not the entrance is not. It is sort of gated. It's a bit of a gated community. It's a walled community, but there are sort of some guards around there. But mostly anybody can just sort of go in and out. It's mostly if you have the money to sort of be heading to a party or afford something in the Upper Merchants District, you can go in there. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the other where you needed the thing to get into the city.
It's not quite. It's
okay.
More anybody can get in, but there's a lot of sort of guards on individual grounds and sort of guarding buildings. So
okay, so we'll get some funny looks, but no one's gonna stop us.
Right.
Okay. So Gildy, let's see. I'm gonna say if Leon went into the Golden Gardens, maybe we can find her by going through a different entrance.
Yep.
We can't see her, so we don't we have no reason to believe that they're close on her tail, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if we go through a different entrance, we can avoid them and find her.
There's no reason for this group to be after Leon right now either, though, right?
Not that you know.
Yeah. They're looking for Morgan. We don't.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't think that they have anything to do with Leon.
Nope. But you did hear Leon screaming from this area. Yep.
Yeah, we heard Leon screaming, and they're the only people who seem to be on a mission.
Yeah.
So Talon says, "It's a good idea. Why don't you all take Morgan up to one of the northern entrances? I'm gonna follow them, and that way, if they do catch up to Leon, I will be there. Otherwise, hopefully, we will meet somewhere in between."
All right.
Okay, so head north.
Sounds good. Yep.
All right.
Yay!
All right.
So as we separate,
Talon
will be casting Disguise Self on himself.
Okay.
And try to look about, I think I've got about a foot range either way, so probably about a foot shorter, and probably look like a not excessively, but reasonably well off, probably older woman. No, older guy, because it's later at night. But
yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Stereotypically safer.
All right. So yeah, you follow them. They run into the Golden Gardens area. None of them are particularly interested in what's going on behind them. Yeah. And the rest of you sort of make for sort of the other way around. Leon, you're sort of running along the wall, running through the area, trying generally to sort of hide yourself and get lost. But Yeah, you would have had a bit of a head start. You eventually come to an area where you can either sort of leave the gardens or head deeper into the gardens. The library's right there. Where would you want to go?
I mean, at this point, my plan is just to get to the Minstrel's Muse.
All right.
So
All right.
hopefully, having lost them, get to the Minstrel's Muse. When I get in there, ask the person at the bar to like, if someone comes looking for me, I am not here.
All right.
And then I run upstairs.
All right.
I just find it funny because I think earlier you had told them if somebody comes looking for me, tell them where I am.
Yeah, it's that kind of day.
Yeah. So, Gildy, Torok, and Mint, can you give me a perception check?
Oh, jeez. How does it went today?
I'm not much better.
All right. So, Gildy, you definitely notice as you're sort of running up the street, the Minstrel's Muse is sort of up and on your right, that there's a figure that sort of runs down and across the street and towards the Muse that looks a lot like Leon. And the rest of you are oblivious.
Okay. Then I'm going to turn to them and say, I think I saw her. She's going into the Minstrel's Muse.
All right. And you are able to catch up after sort of a couple more rounds of running. Talon, you're still following the other group. Once they get inside the Golden Gardens, they sort of start fanning out, and sort of several of them go in different directions. They're definitely looking sort of at the walls and sort of around. You can follow any single group of probably 2 or 3 of them. You're muted.
If they're following like a general direction, like I would probably tend to just try to stay like on the road, intentionally walking at whatever pace kind of kept me with them, and just sort of try to keep an eye or ear out in case they call out to say, hey, there she is or something. But otherwise, I'll just kind of try to stay near where I feel like more of them are.
All right.
Just waiting for something to happen.
All right. Well, the largest group would be 3, and that would be the leader plus a couple others.
Okay.
All right. So you're staying close to them. And they've sort of moved, they're slowed in their movements and are taking a little bit longer to sort of look around. Don't seem to be finding much. All right. Jacob is now sauntering back down the street. We're over there. All right, so yes, Gildy, sorry, not Gildy, Leon, you went to your room in the Muse once you got there?
Yes.
All right. You get into your room and sort of close the door, put your back to the door, breathe a sigh of relief and realize there's somebody in your room.
Okay.
And someone is like, hello. I realize that it hasn't been 24 hours yet, but I thought I'd give you a bit of an update. It is Misty.
Yes, I did mean to come and see. Well, I would have tried to find you if I could have, but all of my items have been found by someone, so I really don't need your assistance anymore. And I look around. Is my money somewhere in the room?
No.
Once I have my money, I'm quite happy to give you 10 gold pieces for your time.
10 gold pieces for my time.
Yeah.
When do you think you will have your money?
Shortly, I'm hoping. I had hoped that it would be waiting for me here.
The rest of you, at least Torment, do know where Leon's room is in the Muse. Yeah, so just about the time you're saying that, there's a knock on your door.
Knock on my door.
Let me rephrase that. For all the others, would you knock before you entered Leon's room?
Yeah,
I
because we
certainly
moved
would.
out.
Yep.
But like impatiently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a quick. Actually, it'll probably sound like.
Knock, 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 Leon. Knock, 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 Leon. Knock, 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 Leon.
And I think there's definitely a. You have the wrong room, I'm certain.
and Turok's like, I don't think so.
And then the door opens a crack, and Leon's eye is there. And then I let you all in.
You turn back. Misty is not in the room anymore, at least not that you can see.
Okay.
And yeah, you let everyone in.
Yep. Wait.
I grab Morgan by the elbow like a child who has done something wrong and say, Morgan, do you have something for Leon? And kind of like shove Morgan in front of Leon.
Yeah, here's some gold for you. I got it back from the thief who stole it.
Excellent. And is it all of my money and the copper pieces?
Yes, and the copper pieces.
Excellent.
Okay, so Gildy's gonna say to Leon, is that all of what was taken from you?
Yes. Yes, your son has done a fantastic job in recovering my items.
Okay. And then Guilty releases her iron grip on Morgan's elbow.
All right.
It's quite clear that Leon believes that Morgan is returning the items that he has found and recovered from someone else. Because I rolled really poorly on my insight check yet again.
All right. All right, so you have your money back.
Yes.
You're all in Leon's room.
Yes. So then I'm going to be asking, so except for Talon and Jacob,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So there was a group who had been here looking for Morgan who had accosted me, and I attempted to make a ruckus to both give you time and hopefully alert you to the fact that they were there. But since you're here, why are you here?
You screamed that you needed help. You were being robbed.
Ah, yes. Might not have been the best choice of words, but I couldn't think of how to say, get Morgan to safety.
Okay, so what you're saying is we need code phrases.
I figure Leon probably has a shiner, right?
Yeah.
They got punched in the face.
Yeah.
So I clearly have a nice black eye.
So
and I'm
from
like,
now on, if Leon says they're being robbed, it means get Morgan to safety.
Noted.
Run the opposite direction. No.
If Leon screams for help, it means save yourself. That's the code.
They interrogated me, as you can see.
Yes, it is
and
quite apparent.
I sprung and told them nothing.
All right.
Okay.
But I don't think they believed me that I knew nothing. So I had to run away.
Do you think they could find you here then?
They were here earlier. So my plan originally was, they were here earlier, I imagine looking for Morgan. So my plan was to cast 2 spells and then get the heck out of here.
Okay. Do you need help packing?
No.
Okay.
I have everything. I have everything on my person now.
Uh-huh. All right.
So if you can keep watch for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
then that would be excellent.
Okay.
All right.
Where are we going next, by the way? Unless are they following you? Wait, is there an update? Where's Talon? Where's Jacob? What's happening? It'll help us determine what our next move should be.
We saw the group that attacked you and that is looking for Morgan. They did not see us, thankfully. We saw that they were coming into the Golden Garden, and so we decided to come through the entrance they were not going towards, and that's when we saw you. Talon decided to follow them like hanging back secretly, not just right up in their business.
I don't
and
know if
so
we have
that's
20 minutes.
Yes.
That's
All right.
my concern right now.
Yes, and that was going to be when I was on my own. So let's get out of here.
All right. All right, so you leave the Muse. Leon, assuming you are the...
I'm
Sorry?
exiting out the window.
Oh, you're exiting out the window?
Oh, yeah. As far as
All
anyone
right.
knows, I'm here, but they're told not to say that I'm here, but I'm still leaving out the window.
You are on the second floor.
Yeah, I have boots that I can climb
Right.
on the wall.
All right.
We'll just leave out the front.
Sounds good. Leon, give me 2 D20 rolls, please.
Oh, no. Do I have to?
It actually is meaningless, but it's just for comedy value at this point.
All her rolls are so meaningful.
This picture of Leon going out the window. It's fine. Ah!
The boots don't turn on. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
She took them
wow.
off when she came into her room to put
All
them
right.
back on.
Oh, so a 9 and a 15. You rolled them together. I thought that was something like 24. Okay.
I learned how to roll higher than 20 on a D20. I am magic.
You exit out the window. You get to the ground, and for comedic purposes, because I have no idea when the next time you will actually look at your money, whenever you look at your money next, you are less 10 gold pieces.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. I was thinking about just leaving it like on the bed or something, or on like the nightstand and looking around being like, but no, this is fine.
Nope. She stole it from you as you were on your way out, and you never noticed.
This is why I need to go shopping. I need to go shopping.
All right. That takes care of that note.
Starting to think the only reason we weren't robbed is because Torok's really big.
There's that.
And deep pockets.
So, unfortunately, Jacob still thinks you're at that temple. So, Jacob, give me a perception check. Nice. All right. So you get to that main intersection where a lot of tonight's action has been happening, and you happen to look north up towards the Minstrel's Muse and see, even though they are a fair ways up the road, it's about a good sort of 150 odd feet. But yeah, you can see the rest of the group, well, all but Talon, heading towards you from the north.
Excellent. I head towards.
All right. So everyone is able to regroup. Sans Talon for the moment.
Okay, but I would imagine we're being stealthy and not taking like the expected route back anywhere.
It depends. For the sake of simplicity, we'll assume that some of you saw Jacob as well, so at least you met up with them before you started sneaking around.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, then it would make sense that it would be like Torok and Minuset that would go and meet up with Jacob because they're looking for 2 halflings and potentially looking for Leon. So.
That's true. So back to Talon for a moment. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll take a break shortly. You've been sort of following them around while they're looking, since they are sort of being a little bit more alert now. Just give me a stealth check to see sort of how well you are otherwise going unnoticed.
Okay. I think that's right. Let me just make sure. Stealth. There we go. Yes. 22.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that's good enough. All right. Yeah, you've been sort of following them for a little while. You get the distinct impression that they don't really know where Leon is. They're just sort of searching wide area at this point. What would you like to do?
Well, the last sort of plan was that everyone else was going to kind of come in the. Who do we lose?
Carolyn.
Yep.
That's Carolyn. Okay. All right. So here's our game tonight. No. Talon wins all the money.
Sorry.
No.
I don't know what just happened there. Sorry, everyone.
That's all right. Yeah, so the plan was that everyone else was going to go in sort of like a northern entrance, and Talon was going to come in, following them and roughly meet in the middle. So, as he's kind of following them, he's probably thinking, okay, I need to start heading that direction and be wary, and would probably continue towards that
All right.
northern kind of northeastern entrance into the gardens.
All right.
And then if he doesn't come across anybody, Talon would probably head towards the Muse since it's right there.
Okay.
So however long that takes, it would be based on slowly kind of following them and then heading that direction.
All right. So I guess the other question then is, assuming the rest of the group is just trying to be sneaky and avoid notice and try and get somewhere, where are you trying to get?
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
I just noticed everyone switched. Oops.
My idea is for to go to Gildy's daughter's house.
Give me an intelligence check. Actually,
Okay.
no. Even pretty much as soon as you mention that, Morgan will probably just say, if they're looking for me, they probably have that area scouted.
We need to take Morgan
that's
somewhere
true.
that has nothing to do with the family.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, Mint and Torok's place is probably a less likely place to be searched.
It is. It's right around the corner from.
Yeah, it's too close.
Yeah.
They'll never look there.
I mean, it is close, but not actually there. So unless you just happen to run into people who are coming or going, that's an impossible place to hide.
There is a slightly burned bit, but it's not being used.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Go back to the scene of another crime.
Yep. Yeah. What do you think?
We know it's fairly defensible.
Well,
Or it used to
not
be.
so much anymore.
I think we proved it could have been better.
Yeah.
We'll remember to lock the back door.
All right. Well, how does this sound? We will give you the break to give it some thought as to where you think you might want to hide, and we will take a quick break for 5 minutes so everyone can run to the bathroom, grab a snack, and we'll see you again shortly.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Hello and welcome back to the next level. We have been bathroomed and snacked, and we are ready to keep going again. So we also had a whole bunch of suggestions. Thank you, Vaharan, for all of the wonderful suggestions. We shall include one or more of those in the second half of the game tonight. So where are you going?
My suggestion is that we actually set up camp just outside of town so that we aren't in their immediate search area.
Okay.
My vote is for, because I have another friend of Morgan's that I need to assist in getting out of town, and I've given him my word that I shall do so, so I must do so.
Oh yeah, Brado. We got to go get Brado too.
Exactly. And Brado had my word that I would get him out, so I must do it.
Yeah, somebody's got to go get Brado and bring them to wherever it is we're going to go. Where are we going?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
We didn't have a lot of time to plan before we learned of all of the crimes you were committing. So,
hey, I'm sorry.
Wait,
okay.
wait, Morgan has been involved in criminal activity?
Gildy shakes her
No.
head and says, "Don't even get me started." Okay. So in terms of like, I think Gildy would be on the side of like setting up camp outside the city, but only if that wouldn't be weird. Like, do people do that? Like, is there areas where there are like groups of camps?
Yep. To the west of the city, there are sort of rolling hills, and there's mines in those hills. So there are mining camps that sort of are here or there throughout those areas. It's not necessarily uncommon to just see, people sort of camped out here or there.
And like, it wouldn't take us very long to get there.
No, I mean, if you're gonna go get Brado and then go over, it probably wouldn't take too long. You would probably need to hide Morgan, because you figure there's people that are watching sort of the entrances and exits to the city. Yeah.
Okay.
How you might hide Brado, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. So Gildy says, hiding outside the city is not a bad idea. They're probably less likely to look there, but our group might be fairly obvious, and they're obviously going to be looking at the gates to the city. So I'm worried that we would draw attention going through the gates.
We
could
didn't
try the temple that we were at previously with Morgan. Maybe that seemed to be fairly secluded.
You could at least wait there until someone goes and gets Brado and comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
because
good first
Torok
step.
and Mint can go get Brado because they're not looking for Torok and Mint.
Mm-hmm.
The thing you'd need to watch for, though, is somebody is watching Brado. So if Brado leaves, someone might follow them.
Is there anyone who is capable with their magics to cast a disguise on them to get them out of where they are?
No, I do not. I don't have that kind of magic. I'm not the disguisey kind of caster.
Is Jacob with us currently, though?
Yep.
Sadly, I can only disguise myself.
Yeah. Gildy can also disguise herself.
Well, this is happening while you're sort of, we'll say, hidden in a bit of an alley discussing where to go. Jacob, just this sort of, people talking and sort of chatter around you sends you into this bit of a vision. And the people around you, the voices talking, suddenly sort of jump up a bit of a pitch. You can recognize them just from having heard them in the past as being mostly gnomish voices. You're in a stone hall. And you can sort of see a couple people that are sitting in chairs just off to your left. A bunch of gnomish voices talking. They seem to be talking about, what they should do, whether they should be hiding, whether they should be hiding here, whether they should be out in the world, and helping, people with their various inventions. And while they're talking, you're sort of, you can sort of look down at your hands and you're fidgeting with some of your items. And a very large mechanical cat, probably the size of like a small tiger or mountain lion, that sort of thing, just comes wandering into view and then wanders out again. And then you're sort of back with everyone else in the alley.
Did anyone see that mechanical cat just that walked by? Wait. Never mind. There was no mechanical cat. That's silly.
All right.
So where are we going?
Jacob, are you drunk again?
Did you come for a drink?
Okay.
It's the
Gildy's going to suggest that everyone hide out at the temple, and Torok and Mint go fetch Brado.
Right. Do Torak and Mint know where Brado is? Know where
Well,
he? Yeah.
Guilty would tell them where to go.
So give them
Directions are
directions on how to
useful.
get there. All right. And if Brado is followed?
Suggestion.
Yes?
Since Jacob does have the ability to disguise himself, two of you could go in. Jacob could leave as a half-orc and be followed, while then you sneak out with the real half-orc to safety. And when Jacob goes around a corner, he's suddenly not a half-orc anymore.
Yeah.
Or the other option, we have Jacob disguise himself as somebody from the initial party we saw and say that we're taking the half-orc in for questioning.
True.
And just dismiss the people who would otherwise follow the half-orc.
Yes, but that also requires deception, which makes it more risky.
Yeah, and you'd have to find the person who's watching and so on and so forth.
Fair enough. I like your plan, Leon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who's
Guilty
going with
also likes
That's-
that plan.
I'm the bait.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what? I owe you, so yes.
All right.
Now the trick is, Leon, may we be able to borrow your bag of holding for a bit? Can it fit Jacob inside? Because if me and Torok enter without them seeing Jacob and we leave with a half-orc, it's a little less suspicious than us leaving a human behind.
No,
No.
well, I think it's two of you go in, and then just Jacob leaves as the half-orc. They will just follow them. They don't know that you're going in to visit the half-orc.
Exactly.
But we would be going in, me, Torok, and Jacob.
No.
They would see the three of us enter, wouldn't they?
Well, it would just be, I was assuming the initial thought was Jacob and someone else, but yeah, two would go in, the half-orc would come out, and then three
And then we
of
follow.
you would follow later. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now
But
I understand.
also-
Sorry.
But also, based on Gildy's description, it's not a one-person house. This is like a
Yeah,
tenement.
many people live here.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that makes
so
it a
there's
lot
no
easier.
There's no reason to associate you going in with the half-orc.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the half-orc exiting that looks like the person, like clothing-wise and stuff like that, is to draw away the person who's watching the house.
Yep.
Okay.
Or,
Morgan will pipe up and say to Torok, hey, if you've got a cloak or something that fits you, maybe somebody take that with him so that the Brado could have something, covering him as well. He doesn't have the best stuff.
all right.
Torok does not, unfortunately.
Okay.
I will also ask Morgan, do you have access to a potion of diminution?
Potions? No, I no. No.
All right. Yeah,
All right.
that's
So
my idea for getting your friend out. Is a potion of diminution will allow us to shrink him down so he can fit inside the bag, and then
if you wait until business opens up the next day, you could try and hit up Mistress Maeve's Marvelous Mixtures and see if they have something that they can make up for you. But anyway, so who's going with Jacob?
Oh, don't you all jump at once.
No, I was going to go with Jacob.
All right, just making sure. All right, so the rest of you go high to the temple. Mint goes with Jacob. You find the location, head in, you sort of wait a few minutes. Jacob uses disguise self. Actually, you probably need to go in and see Brato and sort of introduce yourself so that Jacob knows who to disguise himself as. Jacob, just give me a deception check with advantage to sort of otherwise convey that you are Brato leaving. You look very much like them.
First one, second one.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Yep. So you leave. Give me a perception check. See if you can pick up your tail. 12. Yeah, you don't know if someone's following you or not, but you're hoping so. Mint, how long do you wait?
I want to kind of look through the window as he's left to see if I can spot anyone following him as he's
give me
walked
a
away.
perception check.
Okay. Please be high. 11 total.
Yep, you don't see anything.
Darn it. I wish I would know if they'd been followed or not. I do want to kind of cover up my new half-ogre friend with a blanket at least, if there is no cloak. And just kind of suggest that they clutch it around themselves, and we will go for a walk, and I'm going to keep my senses up to see if we are followed.
Brato, as he's leaving his room, you're not actually outside yet, but sort of there's people like even just in the hallways in this building that are sort of just sleeping or otherwise. Brato sort of leans over every now and is like, I'm an old woman.
I elbow him and go, don't talk.
I'm an old woman and I can't talk. He eventually gets the point.
End scene.
All right. And Jacob, just give me a roll to sort of evade. So I guess a stealth roll. So you're sort of moving around a corner. You're trying to hide. You're switching back.
Oh, God. I'm in... So it's at disadvantage because I am wearing...
Armor?
Yeah, because the armor.
All right. Yeah.
You said stealth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not bad. All right. You pretty much are like you go around the corner, you like switch and sort of are coming back out, and you pretty much almost run into somebody who's like hurrying up to get to the corner. And yeah, you sort of slip past them and like they're looking in, and it's like, hey, did you see a half-orc go this way?
Yes, but I think he was in a hurry. I saw him like he shoved me in and just started taking off running.
Oh, okay, thanks. And they hurry off. All right. So yes, you are able to get Brato out. Yep, and get them back to the temple. Talon.
Mm-hmm.
You eventually get to the Minstrel's Muse. What happens then?
Talon will kind of look around to see if he sees anybody that he recognizes looking at the muse. Keeping in mind that he is still disguised, but
he is still disguised, right?
But does he recognize anybody else?
You recognize someone that you've seen with Leon a couple of times, sort of an older fellow, a bit portly. I think they're maybe a scholar of some sort. That's pretty much the only person around that you vaguely recognize.
Okay. Then Talon will try to just, surreptitiously just kind of go inside the muse. And as he does so, Talon realizes that he doesn't know the room Leon is staying in. So Talon will probably just kind of hang out for a little bit and maybe even just try to wander some of the hallways, listening at doors to see if there are any voices that he recognizes.
Give me a stealth check to see how subtly you wander the hallways.
This is never going to go well. Oh, or maybe it will.
All right. You do that for a fair bit of time. You don't think anybody sort of particularly notices the large shadowed figure as being out of place. But you don't, I don't hear Leon, don't hear anybody.
It's not shadowed. I'm like,
sorry, you're the old woman.
Well-to-do gentleman.
Don't hear Leon, don't hear anybody else. You figure either they're being really quiet here or they've gone somewhere else.
I need to confirm how long this spell lasts.
1 hour.
That's what I thought.
So we'll say you're just at the end of that at this point.
Yeah, so as I get close to the end, feeling like the effects might wear off, then I will kind of wander out and probably try to find my way into an alleyway somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then Talon will probably have a think for a moment on where he thinks everyone else has gone.
Okay. All right, you can let me know what you come up with.
Sure.
The rest of you are sort of well hidden, relatively well hidden in the temple, and think you've got at least sort of some semblance of cover there, and could probably stay there for a little bit of time.
What's the inside of the temple like?
It is very basic. So there, like I mentioned, sort of like big stone blocks and sort of a squarish building, and there's this sort of a smaller square on top. There's a relatively sturdy wall on the outside. The inside is pretty much just a large open area. There's steps going up one wall, and there's probably an altar sort of in the middle of the sort of open area. Pretty basic.
How high is the ceiling?
Oh, probably 30 feet.
Cool. Then I'm going to go stand on the ceiling and pray in the center of the ceiling.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'm just gonna double checking that magical item. I think I created that magical item. I'm not quite sure offhand, but yeah. I'm going to say it would be difficult to trance while wearing the boots. Gravity still sort of takes effect on you, so you can walk on those surfaces, but trying to actually like sit down and get to a relaxed position would be very difficult because your body would still be sort of trying to fall forward. So,
okay. But I can't trance standing up.
You can.
Okay. Well, I will try and find someplace up and inaccessible to normal people and trance there.
You can be sort of up at the top of the stairs or on the second floor somewhere. All right. Alan, where do you eventually figure out you want to go?
So I think when we were originally walking, like we were going to pick up Morgan.
Yep.
And was the plan after we got them to go to the temple, or had we established that?
The plan was to go to the temple to get Morgan, and you were pretty much almost there. You did get Morgan. You did see where the temple was. But there actually hadn't been any plan for where you were going to go after that.
I was afraid of that.
Yeah,
for all you know, we're still at the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like Gildy at some point, like as they're in the temple and they've kind of had a moment to like relax, is gonna like facepalm and be like, Talon, crap. Because I think they were all just expecting that they would eventually run into each other while in the Golden Gates.
Yep.
And so oh, is anyone else there? Torok's there, right?
You're all essentially, sort of back at this point.
Oh, did they get back with
Yep.
Brato?
Yep, Brato.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So Gildy's gonna be like, we should probably go find Talon. I imagine at this point he's wandering the Golden Gardens if they haven't noticed him already.
You need someone stealthy to go? I'm not stealthy.
I was going to say, Turok would offer to go.
You're not stealthy either.
I don't think we need anyone particularly stealthy. We just need someone who isn't any of us who are likely to be watched, noticed, followed.
Yeah, so Mint.
Okay, I'm tiny, I get it. All right. So I'm heading back towards the temple to get Talon's attention and bring him back here.
Heading back
What
towards
could
the temple.
go wrong? All right.
All right. So, where did you think to go? Are you just going to sort of wander around the city for a while, or?
No, I'm pretty sure Talon's probably heading towards the temple, right?
I was just about to do like a 50-50 chance of does he decide to try to meet with the temple, or does he hang around in the alleys near the Muse, thinking that maybe they just haven't gotten there yet, or maybe they were just really well at hiding inside, and he'll just keep an eye for you guys leaving.
He did say it would be
Talon,
an alley near the temple, I thought.
Talon, give me an intelligence check. I know it's not going to be a good roll for you, but
I have on occasion surprised myself.
there's something that you might think of. But not on this occasion.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
All right. Mint, give me a D100 roll. Talon, give me a D100 roll.
Oh no. This is alarming.
Oh, those are pretty good odds, actually.
Spoken like a true gambler.
88.
All right. Those are actually relatively close. So, yeah, Mint sort of knows enough to maybe, check. Talon had been heading towards the Golden Garden, sort of checking through that area, probably heads back around the way they came, thinking that, Talon might come down that way. It does take until about, it's a little after dawn, sun is rising. None of you, except for maybe Leon, have had sort of a good rest this evening. When Mint, you finally find Talon still in an alley, just not far from the Muse, trying to figure out what to do.
And he's easy to spot because he's Goliath and wearing all black in a dark alley.
Yeah.
Well, so Talon would be trying to creep behind the equivalent of a dumpster or something.
Oh, behind the dumpster, you startle this figure who sort of turns around to you. It's like, oh, and you notice, oddly enough, that this person has a very rat-like face. Hi, I was just looking for cats. Do you like cats? I'm going to have some cats. Don't hurt me.
You're looking for cats.
Yes.
To eat?
Yes, I like eating cats.
Shouldn't eat cats.
What?
Cats are not creatures to be consumed.
No?
They're to be pet. They're friendly.
Oh. Do you have food?
Talon kind of looks at his pockets and no.
Oh. Yeah. Can't really go out till, this is a little bit before that. We're sort of going back in time a little bit, but yeah, the moon is still out.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't really go out again until the moon's down and I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm really hungry and I just want to eat something. And you're big and scary. I'm not gonna eat you. Don't worry. I wouldn't. And you look really tasty.
Is there perhaps another alley that you could be in?
Are you telling me to leave my alley?
Or at least just keep some distance. Just
all right. This end of the alley is mine. You go to that end of the alley.
Which end of the alley is he saying is mine? Because I want the side of the alley that has the best perspective of the Muse.
Yes, he's wants deeper into sort of the darkness, and you can. Yep.
It's like, all right, I will stay on this side. You stay on that side.
My name's Alfred, by the way.
Alfred.
Yeah.
Well,
if you come across any cats, and you don't want to keep them as pets, just let me know. I
will.
promise I won't eat them.
I will keep that in mind.
Okay. I like you. You're good. You're good.
Town just kind of nods and doesn't know how to respond to that, and just kind of like, all right, you're an odd duck. Alfred. All right.
Alfred the were-rat.
Alfred the were-rat.
Yep. All right. And then, yes, you wait around at the end of the alley until Mint finally comes along a little after dawn. When, a relatively normal-looking person comes out from the back of the alley. It's like, oh, hey, I'm feeling better now. Bye.
Oh, you made a friend.
Well, bye. Town's gonna kind of, after the person leaves, kind of go back down the alley and look for, his new friend, Alfred.
Yeah, no, they're gone.
Strange.
Okay.
All right.
Town kind of goes back to the front of the alley. It's confused, but just goes back to his watching.
Well, and yeah, Mint will sort of come by about that time. So you are all able to meet up at the temple with Brato and Morgan. But yeah, everyone except Leon has one level of exhaustion from not having a particularly good night's sleep.
Can you remind me what the mechanics are of exhaustion?
Yep. So first level of exhaustion means you have disadvantage on all skill checks.
Oh, that's sad.
Yep.
Is there a way to record that in D&D Beyond?
Yeah,
There's
conditions.
conditions. You add an active condition.
It's right at the bottom.
Aha.
There's
What are the-
exhaustion.
And there's a bunch of conditions you could add. But we just want exhaustion.
And level 1, yeah.
Level 1.
All right. And so I'm able to get my 4 hours of training?
Yes. Yeah.
And we all glare at you.
You're like fresh as a daisy, except for that black eye.
Slowly healing and modeling, and it's a little nasty at this point. So, it is a bright, new, sunny day. What would you like to do?
What time is it?
Sleep.
It's probably about like 7:30 in the morning. We'll say about 8, a little after dawn, yeah.
Too early for the door to be open, right?
8?
8 for things to be open about 8, yeah.
So the House of Wands will be open.
Yes.
I go to the House of Wands.
I will remind you the House of Wands is in the Upper Merchants District.
I know. I go to the House of Wands.
All right. Give me a D100 roll.
Actually, wait. For the House of Wands, I stop somewhere else. I buy new clothes. I put on the new clothes. And then I go to the House of Wands.
All right. Still give me a D100 roll.
My new clothes has a hood.
Very stylish.
And in big writing, this is not the elf you're looking for.
Right.
You know where we bought our Rock of Healing, they had potions?
That's true.
Yeah, I don't care about potions. I need to buy the thing that I set out yesterday to buy. But I couldn't buy it because my stuff was gone.
We could maybe buy it after our camping trip.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
When the heat's died
I need
down.
it now.
All right. You get to the House of Wands. Well, you buy a new change of clothes. A very nice change of clothes, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So that would probably set you back. Where's equipment?
Oh yeah. Before last session, I had already done the purchasing that I talked to you about. So I've just been waiting to do the purchasing that I've already figured out, which included a new pair of clothes.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm good. I've already figured out new fancy traveling clothes and also flying clothes.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. And yes, remind me what it was of the House of Wands you were looking at?
I was trading in the spell book so that I can buy Find Familiar.
Yes. Yeah. No problem there. Okay.
Cool. And then on the way there and on the way back, I'm going to be going, like, I'm not just walking on the roads, I'm like going over houses and, you know, like circuitous route and everything. Like, because I don't want to get caught by these people.
Well, going over houses will definitely be noticed. You could go sort of, you know, through different yards and not take the main routes, but going over things would definitely sort of draw attention to people who are looking for somebody who can go over things.
Okay, fine.
You're smart enough that you'd probably avoid that. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's the best thing they would think, and I stay on the main road.
Give me a stealth roll.
All right. Stealth, you say. I can't use Arcana. It's a stealth way.
No.
It was totally going to be a 20. And then it rolled over being a 2.
All right. You're feeling pretty good. You got there. You got your stuff done. You're pretty much on the way out. And you're like 20 feet from the edge of the Golden Gardens and sort of the wall entrance, the gate entrance there. But you need to sort of be on the main road to leave. So you sort of, you watch, look, okay, you sort of sneak out on the main road, and you get, to this point about 20 feet away from the gate, and you see a very large half red dragon sort of just step out from like an alley, like right next to the wall, and sort of turn to exit, so facing the same direction you are, but they just sort of looks back over their shoulders casually, and seems to spot you. You are about 20 feet away from them. What would you like to do?
Now you can go over buildings.
So, what all is around me?
There is a building off to your, that's right. That's a sort of a merchant's shop, probably a clothier of some sort. Another building off to your left that sort of extends down, and they walked out from sort of the other side of it. You're probably about 5 to 10 feet back from you is sort of another main road that goes off to the left. And there's like a decent amount of people out and about at this point, mostly sort of higher end noble folk. Yeah.
Are there any carts or wagons or?
Yeah, we'll say there's probably a wagon that's sort of rolling up towards you into the gardens area.
Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically turn and walk so that the wagon blocks completely line of sight with this individual.
Okay.
And then cast Misty Step so that I'm actually 30 feet down an alleyway.
Okay.
So hopefully on the other side of the wagon, so that when that person goes to that side of the wagon to be like, haha, you're here, I'm actually on an alley on the other side of the wagon.
All right.
Which is blocking as I'm running madly to get away from this person.
All right. Just give me a D20 roll.
I had to make it a D20 roll, didn't you?
Yes. Your luck will eventually have to change. Maybe not right now.
It's always double digits, and it's like, oh, I'm double digits. No, I'm a lower digit.
All right. All right. Yeah, you seem to get away as far as you can see. You can sort of, from the vantage point of after your Misty Step, you can see them sort of, heading up towards the cart. They're calling out a little bit. You manage to sort of slip around the building and actually come out from the alley that they came out from, sort of almost doing a complete circuit around that building. And you're right next to the wall, right next to the exit at that point, and they're sort of heading off in the other direction. You can slip out. So yes, narrowly escaped another interaction with the, and we'll say just for fun, just as you slip out, you're just on the other side of the gates, you encounter 2 elves, but they're unlike any elves you've ever seen before. They have like bluish tinged skin, but not sort of the blue gray that you've heard from some of the dark elves. This is actually sort of a pale and relatively bright blue, sort of very noticeable, very prominent upon them. And you come out and you turn the corner and they're sort of right there standing in front of you. They definitely give this massive sort of attitude of nobility that you are sort of echoing back at them a little bit. But
not a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a little bit. It's like, oh, hello. Why, hello to you as well. Finally, my peers have arrived.
Give me an insight check, just for fun.
Can I make a history or arcana check to know anything about them?
Sure. Arcana.
Sweet. All right. Insight.
Okay.
And arcana.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you definitely you have your full sort of noble attitude going, but you get a decent insight off of them that what they're giving back to you is of a still higher status. And you are all smart enough and sort of intuitive enough to think that even as high status as you are, you may want to defer to them. And you sort of cycle through your arcana in the back of your head and sort of realize that there really aren't any that you've ever heard of elves like this. The only elves that you've heard of that tend to go around looking like this are dragons that tend to be polymorphed as humans.
Oh. All right.
Or as elves. Yeah. And you actually can see like they both have this little medallion around their neck with a nice little dragon insignia on it. That you figured they are dragons.
Okay, then I will give them a very formal, like short, just kind of a not like I'm trying to start a conversation, but like I recognize you, I recognize your status, and like good day to you. In Draconic. Just very, again, super formal, good day to you, and then, give them the deference and everything they deserve.
Yep. And they sort of, give a head nod. And even as you sort of step away, one of them sort of turns and asks in Draconic, "What is your name, good elf?"
Oh, crap. What do I know about dragons? In terms of the politics of the humanoid world.
Like, how do dragons like to interact with the politics of the humanoids world, that sort of thing?
Are they in any way involved?
Generally not, no.
Okay. Then I tell them my name.
Your full name?
Yeah.
Your actual name?
Yep.
Okay. The lady of the two of them that sort of turn to you is just sort of raises a single eyebrow, nods, and they go about their business.
Hooray!
All right, and you return to the others with your items.
Sweet. And then I take 10 minutes and I cast. Actually, wait. I would have to take. I think it would be 40 minutes because I would need to both write it into my spell book, which takes me only half the time because it's conjuration, and then I cast the spell. Finally, that I've been wanting to cast for a while.
All right. Anybody else doing any final preparations before you, I'm assuming, leave the city? It doesn't necessarily mean you're not coming back in the next couple of days. I don't know, but maybe you're not. Yeah, what would you like to do before you head out?
I super need arrows.
Okay, those can be found relatively easily.
And I would like to top up my bolts too.
All right, we'll say I think it's about a silver piece for 20.
Something like that.
Yeah, sorry, and it's going to take me an hour and a half.
Okay.
And then I have a brown owl.
You have a what? Sorry.
A brown owl.
Oh, owl.
Yes.
Owl.
Just an owl that hangs out with you all the time.
I have a brown owl who basically maintains a distance of approximately 15 to 20 feet away from me and is constantly observing me. Constantly.
There we go.
Oh, this is your security system.
So
It's his alarm owl.
yes. So 1 gold piece gets you 20 arrows or 20 crossbow bolts.
All right, one gold.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to buy 100 arrows.
Nice. Stockpiling. Yep.
Yes. Sorry, and you said 1 to 20?
1 gold piece for 20. Yep.
Thank you.
Anybody else getting anything before you head out?
I'm probably just going to get 50 bolts myself.
Okay.
Like,
So that would be 2.5 gold.
Well, I'd get 2.5 gold. That makes sense. I'll do that.
Tarok would probably want to grab some more rations.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I'd have
rations.
anything left over at anything that I'd want to take with me too.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up not just enough rations for me, but also apparently people like to share.
Yeah.
So,
So it's 5 silver pieces for 1 day of rations, a gold for 2 days. So buy however much you like.
I bought up about 2 weeks plus last time, so probably I'll go for 3 weeks again.
So that's 24 days, 12 gold.
And Tarok will buy the same.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah, I think Talon will as well.
All right.
Fine. I won't buy that much. I'll buy a week.
All right. So 8 days, 4 gold.
You're going to eat mine, aren't you?
Hey, there's a thing of meat around.
He's in trade.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to trade it for stuff.
For meat.
So, well, and before I buy any, so I will, I will tell everyone that I encountered the one individual, but I was able to give him the slip. I won't mention the dragons. And I don't say anything about the owl, but I now have an owl who is constantly observing me.
Yep.
I do ask, like, what is the plan? People are talking about buying rations. How long are we thinking we're going to be staying away?
And that's part of the thing. Like, you can get Morgan out of the city, but then are you just going to leave them to their own devices and come back? Are you going to escort them somewhere?
Personally, I feel like we've kind of worn out our welcome in the city. We both are now wanted by unsavory types, but then also there's also the Mournish that are looking for Jacob.
Jacob, yep.
So we may just wish to leave town and never come back.
Gildy does have family here.
Yeah.
You just found her husband again.
Yeah. So Gildy's going to say, well, Alphonse is going to want to stay and, not in the cities. He's going to want to go to the forest and continue the work that he had started in banishing all the shadows from the forest. He would certainly want to ensure that Morgan was safe first. So Morgan is my priority right now. I want to make sure that Morgan kind of finds their way and gets out of trouble for once, and she gives Morgan a bit of side eye.
You can probably get a message to Alphonse as well, just to let him know that you're...
Yeah, Gildy is going to do that before they do anything else.
Okay.
Just like got Morgan, going to make sure they're safe, be back soon, heart,
Yep.
Gildy.
All right.
And I'll actually get a message to Coromandius and also to Rindle to let them know that I'll be out of town for some time if I actually even come back.
All right.
But give them my fondest well wishes.
Okay.
I'm not going to let my sister know.
Ah, all right.
I think I'm going to keep paying up for the room for the napping gnome, so that it's still booked out for us while we're away.
All right.
Just to kind of throw them off.
Although they already aren't looking for us.
That's true.
Yet.
Do we just want to tell them that we're heading out of town again then?
Yeah, tell them
We
that
can
we're...
open up the room to someone else?
Yeah, we'll be back. Just let them know we'll rent again shortly.
Okay.
All right. All right. So yes, if there's any other sort of basic supplies, feel free to sort of grab them between sessions, but otherwise you get what you need. So the plan for getting Morgan and Brato out of the city is Morgan can go in the bag of holding. Brato is going to...
Yes. So we need a potion of diminution.
Ah, yes. So you can go to Marvelous Maves. Yes, Maeve's Marvelous Mixtures. Potion of... Yes, give me one moment. I didn't have that pulled up.
And I am not going. I am, after getting spotted again, I'm done with this town.
That seems fair. All right, potion of growth would probably be the same. Yeah, okay. All right, so at Marvelous Maves, you can probably get a potion of diminution for about 300 gold.
That's a lot of gold.
I would loan it to you, but I am short 296 gold. No, 298 gold.
You spent it all already.
I got this fancy pearl.
What is money?
Jacob, you would have been able to identify the hand during your evening as well.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, so is there a cumulative 300 gold you guys could scrap together? Or
not
let me check.
Callum will certainly throw some gold in here. It's for Morgan's safety.
Turok has some he can donate, but not a lot.
Yeah,
I would toss what I can.
I could do like 100.
All right. So 100 from Gildy.
I could do 4. That's all I have left.
Maybe we'll let you keep your 4.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
You said maybe.
Considering you started out this whole adventure with an extra 5 at the very beginning.
That has been paid back. Oh no, that was prepaid up front. Talon, how much do you want to donate?
Probably 50.
All right, that's half. You could also try and barter them down a little bit.
Yeah. Anyone super charismatic?
Well, who's going to get the stuff? Because we didn't establish.
That would be another question.
Turok will donate.
Anyone super charismatic?
You would notice that Mint is not charismatic.
Neither
not
is Turok.
Lacking, but just not the most talky of people.
Talon is actually quite charismatic.
Really?
Yep. He's not very smart, but when he tries to, he has his ways in certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's
he'll
like
convince them to do anything but nothing that he wants them to do.
Pretty much nailed it. Exactly.
He's adorable, and he can turn on the smolder.
Yes.
That's
yeah,
right.
he's like the
Feel-
mysterious stranger. Like,
Yes.
he doesn't say
Yeah.
very much, but it's just so compelling.
When
Oh, I suppose, since this is for Morgan does have some funds he could probably lend to this.
Probably should, considering he's the one in the tough spot. Also, though, how many nights were we at the Napping Gnomes? So I know how much I have
one.
left. Only the one. So it cost me 11 silver then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Morgan will throw in the extra 150. And if you can get a discount, that would be great.
there you go. So Tori can keep his 50.
All right.
Just
But
remember,
I have to spend the 11 silver.
Yes.
Remember, you guys have disadvantage on your persuasion check because you're exhausted.
Stop mocking us.
Crap.
So who's going to buy the potion?
Talon should, because he's charismatic, could get a better
All right.
deal.
Sure. All right.
You are sent out to buy the potion. You know where the stall is. You have sort of passed it several times, perhaps bought something there yourself. Yeah, and you step up and they sort of like, oh, hello, good large sir. How can we help you today?
Hello. I'm looking for a potion.
We have many potions here. What would you like?
So what? Sorry, diminutive. What's the potion called?
Yeah, potion of diminution.
Okay.
Yep.
Potion.
Diminution is.
Yes. I could pretend Talon has no idea to say it, but
Yep.
yes. Potion of diminution, please.
Well, yes, that could be very useful for you. You are quite large.
Yes.
Yep. Let me see what we have in stock. And they sort of rummage around, like, oh, nothing here, but I'll check in the back, and runs around and comes back. I was like, yes, we have one left. Very lucky for you. That will be
340 gold.
That will be 300 gold.
I was under the impression it was a little less than that price. Would you take 260?
We would willingly take 260 as long as there's an additional 40 going with that. Give me a persuasion check.
Not gonna go away. All right.
At disadvantage, yeah.
Yes. All right. So roll number 1. Roll number 2.
Oh, okay. You get actually a little bit of haggling done, and they drop it down to 290.
This is still a little more than I expected, but you are in luck, as this is required. So he will fork over the 290.
All right, you have the potion.
All right. Talon doesn't really even say good day. He just turns around and leaves.
All right, so.
So charismatic.
That's right. It's mysterious.
Was the potion to be able to put Bronto also in the bag of holding, or just have him be smaller and
It's to have him be small enough so that he'll fit into the bag of
holding? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So how do we hide Morgan then?
In the bag of holding. They could both fit.
As well. They'll both fit. Oh, okay, cool.
And both being small sized, they could fit. Yeah. That would half the amount of air that they would have to use. So you'd have about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But you figure just getting even from where you are out the main gate or at the south gate, which is a little closer. Yeah, probably not even a 5-minute trip. So.
Okay. So yeah, basically get them into the bag, like, if we can find someplace near the gate where they can just hop in, then that's great. If we have to go from here, we go from here, and I just have a brisk walk, get them out, and then.
Yep. Give me one final glorious roll, D20 roll.
You can do it. The sigh.
Why are you doing this to me, Rob? Okay.
I really want to see you roll well. That's
This is
why
the one.
I'm crossing my fingers for you. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. So everyone sort of comes together. You get them inside the bag of holding. You sort of filter out the city in sort of various little groups. Leon has the bag and sort of goes quickly through the southern exit. The plan is to meet in the Western Hills. And you all manage to make it out of the city just fine. You do notice that the guards at the gate are a little bit more attentive. That there's few sort of groups loitering around gates watching people. But yeah, you all managed to make it out of the city without otherwise drawing any other attention to yourselves.
I
And
will
you are out.
mention that
Yep.
Gildy would have certainly wanted to go with Leon and would have been like super fretting the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you're sure they have enough air in there? They're going to be, they're not obvious, like discreetly, obviously, but
Yes,
they're
I've
gonna-
done the math.
they're going to be
I know
okay,
exactly
right?
how to do it. Yes, they're fine.
Okay, as long as you're sure. I just, you know. And then just like every like 30 seconds being like, they're still okay, right? It hasn't been 5 minutes. They're still okay. do they need to come out yet?
And actually, if Gildy's going to keep harassing me with these questions, I'm going to switch to Primordial because we both speak Primordial.
Yep.
So then we can have
that's a
this
good idea.
conversation and no one will understand what we're talking about.
you pass one random Genasi who's coming in as you're heading out, going. Yep. And yes, you all make it out into the Western Hills. We're outside the city. Morgan and Brado are safe.
Cool.
You are good. And
These relieved.
yep. Once you are well out of the city, sort of at camp, you've probably even traveled for a good chunk of a day since you left in the morning. Morgan will bring out the statue and show it to you, and it is gorgeous. It is probably the most amazing work of art potentially you have seen in your entire life. Maybe not Leon. Yeah, it's probably about 18 inches tall. It is of the reveler goddess, who's the god of sort of celebrations and abandon and passions. She is of course completely nude. And yeah, the sort of the metal that it's been sort of molded from or carved on gives off this faint silvery white light. The eyes are done as, I think, sapphires. The lips are done with rubies. There are strategically placed diamonds. And yeah, otherwise this is this amazing sort of statue. And he's like, yeah, so this is what I found. And yeah.
How much
Great.
How much light does it give off?
It's probably dim light in the 5 feet.
Excellent. I can make a perfect, well, not perfect, but I can make a duplicate of it that also glows. That will hold up to inspection, at least from a distance.
Oh yes, from your
Yeah, conjuring item.
Yeah.
Because it's the right size, and my item specifically glows. So I take a close look at it so that if I need to at some point, I can make a duplicate that,
nice.
Again, once somebody gets close, I don't expect it to actually pass that inspection. But at least from a distance, is a statue that looks exactly the same that also is glowing. That's a physically real statue. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, and with that finally accomplished, we will leave it there and pick up next week and see how things progress and where we want to go from there. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. We have been us, and we will see you next week on the next level. Take care, guys.